Welcome to the June 16th, 2026 meeting of the Oshkosh Common Council. City Clerk, if you wouldn't mind taking the roll.
Stevenson.
Here.
Lefebvre.
Here.
Esslinger.
Here.
Spanbauer. Excused. Amos.
Here.
Bulow. Excused. And Mugrauer.
Here. Leading us in the invocation and also the pledge will be Councilmember Stevenson. Both. Yes, if you could.
We come together this evening to discuss the issues that confront our city. May we always seek the wisdom to do things that reflect our concern for the people whom we represent.
Stand, please, if possible.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
My mom's out here to take my picture. So.
Favorite subject in school? Favorite teacher?
Gym or history? It's
Any teachers you need to give a shout out to?
They all get shout outs.
All right. In advance, we issued a proclamation acknowledging World Refugee Day, which happens to be June the 20th. We have a few public hearings before we make our way into public statements to council and then our regular agenda items. So we're going to move right into these public hearings. If you're here to speak on any of them, please come forward when I call that hearing. First up, Resolution 26-264 is the public hearing on approving final resolution for special assessments for contract 26-02 sidewalk, new and rehabilitation, driveway aprons, sanitary sewer main and laterals, new and relay, water main and laterals, new and relay, and storm sewer mains and laterals, new and relay. This is for streets Scott Ave, West 12th Ave, Wisconsin Street, and Wright Street. The public hearing is open. If you're here to speak to this public hearing, now is your time to do so. I see no one on, sir?
I'm Larry Hildebrand, filling in for my son, he couldn't make it, but we had a question on some of the buildings on Scott Street, and four buildings there.
Okay.
Two, 3 units, and they're built as.
Sir, would you mind coming up to the microphone?
Sure.
That way everybody can hear you. If you wouldn't mind stating your name and address into that microphone and then share that information.
Larry Hildebrand, I live at 3343 Stand Road, Amaro. We have properties in Oshkosh. Our son has 4 units on Scott where the street was put in. He has two 3 units, and on his estimated billing for the 3 unit, they counted it as a 6, and they charged him proposed $8,000 for the sewer, the street sewer, I believe.
Okay.
I was just wondering why it would be that much.
Sure. So, Mr. Garrick, would you like him to connect with you directly right now, back there, or after the meeting? So there's a staff member sitting right back there, nice gentleman in a red tie.
Okay.
He's going to be your man in terms of helping answer that question
Okay.
as to the why.
Okay. Should I talk to her then?
Yeah, his name is Justin. He can help direct and help you with that.
Thank you very much.
So thank you for bringing it to our attention. Thank you. Is there anyone else on this public hearing for Scott Ave, West 12th, Wisconsin, or Wright? If not, we'll consider the public hearing closed. Council, I'll take a motion and a second to put it on the floor.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion on this resolution? I see now, if you'll take the roll.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Lefebvre.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
Public hearing, Resolution 26-265, approve final resolution for special assessments for contract 26-03, sidewalk, new and rehabilitation, driveway aprons, sanitary sewer main and laterals, new and relay, water main and laterals, new and relay, and storm sewer mains and laterals, new and relay, for construction that took place on Ohio Street, West 16th Avenue, Arizona Street, Minnesota Street, Iowa Street, Michigan Street, Florida Ave, and West 14th Ave. The public hearing is open on this resolution. If you're here to speak, now would be a great time. I see no one. We'll consider the public hearing closed. Take a motion and a second to put 26-265 on the floor.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion on this one? I see none. Please take the roll.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
Resolution 26-266. This is a public hearing to approve final resolution for special assessments for contract 26-04, sidewalk, new and rehabilitation, driveway aprons, sanitary sewer main and laterals, new and relay, water main and laterals, new and relay, and storm sewer main and laterals, new and relay, for construction that took place on Jocelyn Street, Fleur Court, Southland Avenue, Rush Avenue, and Taft Avenue. The public hearing is open. Now would be your time to come forward and speak to these, if you were so inclined. I see no one. Consider the public hearing closed, and I'll take a motion in a second, please.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion. Please take the roll.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
Resolution 26-267, a public hearing for approving the final resolution for special assessments for contract 26-07, driveway aprons, sanitary sewer main and laterals, new and relay, water main and laterals, new and relay, and storm sewer main and laterals, new and relay, for construction on Clairville Road, Windsong Terrace, West 9th Avenue, and Mockingbird Lane. The public hearing is now open. Good evening. If you could give name and address, and welcome.
My name is Bruce Byer, 3196 Clarville Road. I'm part of that contract that you sent out. I've got a big problem with that. There's only 6 people that have to pay $582,332 to have this done without getting any connection to the house. And there are 5 people that are gonna, or 6 people that are gonna pay that. The town of Algoma, who lives across the street, is able to connect on without paying anything at all, other than they'll have to join the city. There's 4 houses involved in this contract. On this east side of the street. On the west side of the street, there's 12 houses in the town of Algoma. They're not required to pay anything or connect to it. There's 2 farms, a 40-acre farm and an 80-acre farm. Between the 2 people that own the farms, who will never use any water or any sewer, have to pay $332,000 to pay for the sewer and water that they don't use. This is not right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, I can get the register, y'all.
Patty, if you want, you can use the kiosk in the hallway.
Okay. I was eating at Line Chef, so I'm running. Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak on the public hearing for 26-267? I see no one. Public hearing will be considered closed. Council, I'll take a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion, council? I see none. If you'll take the roll on 26-267.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
Public hearing for Resolution 26-268, approve final resolution for special assessments for contract 24-05, concrete pavement, sidewalk, new and rehabilitation, driveway aprons, sanitary sewer main and laterals, new and relay, water main and laterals, new and relay, and storm sewer mains and laterals, new and relay. This is for construction that's taking place on Furno Avenue. The public hearing will be open. If you'd like to speak on this one, please come forward. I see nobody. We'll consider the public hearing closed. Council, take a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion on this resolution? I see none. Please take the roll.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
We'll move into public statements to council. I've got a number of people registered to speak this evening. Just want to make sure I get you all here. Give me 1 second. Cope Ave. Blake Scalise, and then followed by Arjun Sharma. This would be a great time for you to come forward. I think you want to talk to us about Cope Avenue.
Yes.
This is an interesting one tonight with how the workshops are. This would be a great time for you to speak to us on that topic. And then we're going to go into workshop after all of our action this evening.
Okay.
5 minutes. Floor is yours. If you can keep it to things that aren't on the action agenda tonight. And then welcome.
Okay, yes, sir, thank you. Hi, everyone. I am Blake Scalisi. Me and my family live on Cope Avenue, the road, which is a topic of the workshop following this session. I wish to provide some information to the council that I feel is important prior to the workshop. Cope Avenue is a gravel road on the north side of town, off of Jackson, with roughly 13 residential addresses on the road. Us residents have all been in a pickle. The road is privately owned by an individual who I believe does not own a house on the road, but rather the lands adjacent to it. Every year, the conditions of the gravel road that we live on fall into poor shape. With winter thaw and spring rain, very large potholes form down the entire length of the road. In years past, some resident of the road has always championed the project of adding new gravel for basic repairs. For many years, a longtime resident and neighbor of mine performed this task of repair at mostly his own labor and financial burden. This individual sold their house and moved in around 2023, ending the consistent road repairs year after year. Since then, the road has been patched with gravel by residents just trying to make the road presentable in order to sell their homes. From talking with those individuals who have made repairs to the road in the past, it has always been an issue to obtain equal funds from all residents of Cope Avenue. At this point, no one has taken any responsibility of the road. We are unsure whether this responsibility lies with the owner, the city, or us residents. Us residents of Cope Avenue are exhausted from dealing with this issue every spring. We have lost our USPS mail service in past years and are likely about to lose it again now. None of us residents want to take the full responsibility of repairing this road. The owner of the road has not provided any communication nor shown any responsibility towards the road. And I assume the city of Oshkosh does not want to take responsibility of the road for obvious financial and liability reasons. Speaking for all residents of Cope Avenue, we would like a long-term solution. Adding gravel year after year just kicks the can down the road, and ultimately we will be in the same position again next year. An actual paved road would be our desired goal, and we'll close this matter once and for all, but this obviously comes with significant cost. I'm unsure how this would be managed. We look to the city for help with this predicament. We don't want to be here again next year expressing the same concerns. We seek help in aligning all three parties, the owner, the city, us residents, and ultimately determining a plan that will resolve this matter long-term. I adjourn, thank you.
Thank you. Arjun Sharma. Hopefully I didn't assault that name too badly.
That's correct.
Okay. Welcome.
My name's Arjun Sharma. I live on Cope Avenue as well. I'll keep it fairly brief. I'm in law school right now, and one thing I learned in law school is what a reasonable person would do in a certain situation. The road does not meet the burden of what an ordinary reasonable person would think of that road. The road is very in bad shape. I've lived in India. The roads in India are very bad, and the fact that this road is worse than Indian roads it surprises me. I've never seen anything like it. And I don't feel that the road is safe in any way. So when I first moved to Oshkosh, when my dad bought the house on Cope Avenue, I rode my motorcycle and I slipped due to the gravel, and I misjudged how strong the road was. I don't think it's safe for any kid to ride a bike on that road. My dad has a flagship property, and flagship pretty much means that our property connects to the main highway. So we could have the option of even building our own road, and we looked into it. However, we were denied by the state of Wisconsin, Department of Transportation, because they view it as a hazard to create another road from the highway. So I've already looked in alternative situations, and I understand that the road is privately owned by somebody. However, it doesn't make any sense for this owner to put any money into the road. First of all, the owner does not live on the road. Second of all, even if we wanted to have repairs to the road, we would have to put in our pro rata share, meaning that we would have to put in our money proportionate to where people live on the road. And like Blake has just said, who just spoke, it doesn't make any sense for us to do that with gravel. It's just a short-term solution. I personally think that the city should take it over. If the city is concerned regarding people living on the road getting injured and then wanting to sue the city because of how bad the shape the road is in, I would be willing to sign a waiver saying I wouldn't sue the city if anything were to happen. Thank you.
Thank you. For other non-agenda items, Jordan Hanson, you're registered twice on here. I want to make sure.
So I wanted to speak to something I think I added to the agenda.
39?
So I wanted to speak to 39.
Yep.
And then I wanted to speak to, what did you call it? Item 51.
Okay, so you want to speak on both of those?
Yes.
Easily done. And then Brian, I don't have a last name. Seal. That it looks like now would be the time for you to speak, I think. Non-agenda item? Okay. Good evening, welcome. If you can keep it to 5 minutes and the non-agenda.
I'd like to speak to you about intellectual property I've applied for long ago. There's a lot of infringement. There are 911 services provided within the intellectual property. In 2008, I basically wrote it could work with cellular manufacturers, service providers, and others. Apple, Samsung, AT&T, multiple other service providers. It wasn't necessarily cellular service providers. I wrote all the concepts could work with one another. They could be added for reasons of security and convenience. And marketed properly, they'd be worth hundreds of millions of dollars a year. If you take a small communication company at $10 a month, sell 1 million lines, it's $120 million a year. Add that up over the life of a patent, it's well over $2 billion. I'm not talking about being a large company or even a medium-sized company like US Cellular. This is a small business. I also said it'd be perfect for single women families and those who live in high crime areas. In 2008, before all these phones came out, I wrote it could be larger in size, faster processor, more memory, extra sensors, anything you'd want to add to it.
I'm going to pause you right
This
there.
is-
Can you answer a question for me? I'm trying to figure out how this impacts the city of Oshkosh, and it's something that the Common Council may address at a future meeting. Can you?
Well,
figure
there's
out how that connects?
911 services involved, and you may want to discuss 911 services.
And we're not responsible for 911 services. The Winnebago County would be.
They are, so you would like me to not speak about this or consider moving to the city and opening a business here, or I'm just wondering why?
The citizen statements portion of our agenda is related to items that pertain to the city of Oshkosh, and something that is within our purview to address at a future time.
All right, I'm looking at land here. I've been here. My family's had a business here in the past. I've lived here in the past. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
And I'm seeking help, and this was actually addressed while I lived in Oshkosh more than a year ago to you, and you said you'd have to look into it more. You had it for, the city had it for over 2 months before that meeting even occurred. So I don't know if it was looked into or not, but I've been trying to set up an appointment with Rebecca. I can't even get a phone call back. I said it would work with a 360-degree view. Now, on all our phones, it would work with 911 or a panic button. Multiple concepts, recording, activating cameras, just things that would save people's lives. Common sense things were some of them were great ideas that people just wouldn't think of. And if in 2008 you said you were going to have video 911 or all these things that are happening today, no one would have agreed. Yet here we are living in this world. I said these things could work with GPS, display any information you wanted on your screen. For convenience, you can now look up and buy a security system for your phone on your phone, and you can see who's at your front door. I said there would be a computer program that would allow you to add any desired feature you wanted. It would work with home computers, office computers, storage devices, security centers. That's all here now. You couldn't put your pictures on your home computer in 2008 from your phone. Basically, I would like to ask the council to address these things after session to see if there'd be any interest in helping to recover the losses over the 18 years and set up a business here in Oshkosh where taxes can be collected and jobs can be created. These are all tech jobs for people you're turning out of your college every year. You're graduating these people every year. They're moving to other cities. I have the intellectual property that could be used to negotiate
Ms. Diener?
companies
Time.
working here, coming here, paying taxes here. So I just want to ask for a motion for this to be discussed after the council meeting. Maybe I could get a meeting with Rebecca later. That's it.
Thank you. This is a time for us to listen, but not to engage, so there won't be any action from this.
You won't put a motion forward.
There won't be any action this evening, that we're not allowed to even discuss it under state statute.
Under state statute?
Yes.
All right.
This wasn't an agenda item for us to discuss, so we're not able to discuss it this evening.
How do I get something put on the agenda?
You don't get something put on the agenda. A council member or city staff member puts things on the agenda.
There's no way I can.
No.
And if I just can, it sounds like you're looking to purchase land in Oshkosh. This board doesn't traditionally help in it. I mean, that's why we have staff. If there's a staff member, our community development department certainly is the one that works with land purchases and can point you in that direction. I don't think at this time this board would deal in that matter right now. So I would first touch base with staff and see where that would go then.
And I'm still attempting that. Rebecca, could you call me to set up an appointment to speak with you regarding what's... Thank you.
Let's see. I don't have anyone else registered to speak. Ms. Diener, did you?
I'm not, I can't.
If you could please-
My name's on there, but I want to talk a couple times, so that's why I want to go on our session.
So right now, this is the non-agenda area of the public speaking portion. So if it's not on the agenda, you can talk about it.
Well, there's a few things. To do them all or what?
Right now is the non-agenda items only. So 5 minutes, name and address, Ms. Diener.
My name is Patricia A. Diener. I like that idea that this gentleman has. I'm going through a situation right now. I purchased a phone 2 months ago. I had nothing but trouble with that phone. So, what if I need 911? I don't have a phone. I don't have a landline. Because the service is not good, what I purchased is no good. I understand what he's trying to say, because I had to make a phone call that one time, because my landline went down. So I understand what he's trying to say, and I'm not trying to go over any of you, but it is a good idea.
Okay. Anyone else that would like to speak to anything not on the agenda? While you're coming up, Ms. Diener, do you know what other agenda items you'd like to speak to, so I can make sure I can call on you appropriately? Do you know what numbers they are?
Where's citizen on here? I'm trying to find it. Usually in the front.
What part?
Did I miss it?
You have it as public statements.
Public statement, okay, it's been changed since something, a little more different, because there's different
You
stats.
you were just up here, so what else did,
I have two other things, and I think up the Cheyenne's gonna talk.
if we could give her a chance? Ms. Diener, this is the time to speak to citizens, hold up, Ms. Diener, you do know, you've been here numerous times.
Well-
So, right now is the time to speak to us about things that are not on the agenda. We'd welcome your comments, but you get 5 minutes total.
Okay.
So you've got about 4 left.
I come to you this evening in regard to Saturday afternoon. I was on the corner of New York and Hazel. I have to go to the traffic review board to let them know. There was an accident. So, there's been changes in the city of Oshkosh since I've been here. I went up to planning. We're in training. What's training? It looked like everything's closed down. It's like pull everything down. They're all headed out. So I thought, I'll go see the city attorney, and then I'll go see the new Rebecca. Rebecca wasn't in the office. And then I decided, that's news to me. All the years I've been here, way back in 80s, we used to come and apply for our permits, planning and all this. Why is there a training situation? Because when I came up here yesterday afternoon to talk about the situation, I walked down here, maybe you could see Rebecca. Oh, this room is dark. Why is it dark? And there's people in here. That's news to me. What's going on in the city of Oshkosh? So I wanted to talk to the gentleman, he's retired. I wanted to talk to the other lady in planning, the head person. She's gone. Her name was Kelly. Well, there are codes, and there are things for the city of Oshkosh. There's a 32 set foot back. So there was a bad accident. And I'm on, right at second house out in New York and Menominee Drive. And I went to the city and I came back and I see this bad accident. And I thought, holy cow, lucky nobody got hurt. And this girl her insurance might have to go after her. And it shouldn't be the girl's fault. There are setbacks with shrubs, bushes, or anything. And I am advising you, and I'm going to go to the traffic review board. I've been down in that area for a long time. There needs flashing lights with a stop sign for a four-way stop. You got your city buses moving faster than what you think. You got cars moving as fast as you think. They're coming around from Menominee Drive down New York. They make it so fast that sometimes they go right through the stop sign. And I want that person, and I told that girl, and the other girl, she's a former county employee. I said, you gotta do what you gotta do. I think you need to go to the city of Oshkosh. You need to have a complaint done, and that person needs to have them shrubs cut back. Only for safety, and then people could have been badly in. They were doing 10 miles an hour, but if you would have seen the way the cars were, it could have been really bad. And so that's why I come to you this evening, to let you inform you what's going on. You guys made a lot of changes, and I know I got a couple minutes.
You have 30 seconds.
That's it. I want to inform you, 28 people have moved out of our neighborhood in 8 years. And we are finally got somebody to come in there and do some remodeling in 2 homes. And I hope and pray we get good neighbors. Because I have not been around for almost 2.5 years. Been in and out. And I'm just so glad them 2 people took the houses.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. I apologize. If you could give name and address, and then 5 minutes and to topics not on the agenda.
Yep. My name is Andy Tillman, 802 East Parkway. I'm a resident here in Oshkosh. So I want to talk about a couple things. The first one would be Oshkosh Media and what's now become the Communication and Engagement Division. I sat through the workshop. I watched the last one. And I would say there's a few things. One, first I'll start by saying it's really hard to give comments on this because the workshop just happened. I'm trying to gather my thoughts of all the things that happened. So I'm going forward, maybe there's, I don't know how to address that. I'll be able to say, hey, there's a workshop, and now how do we have comment on this? Because way too fast for me to be able to gather my thoughts and give you opinion. I did write you all an email earlier this morning. I would appreciate if you all read that, because one of the things I addressed in there was, Mary, you brought up the question about why are the taxpayers funding this. That's one of the things I addressed in my email, where I talked about this is a public good. Community conversations is a public good. Life TV is that. We can keep GovTV, that's awesome. I'm glad we are doing that because that is valuable too, but these are 2 separate services. One is about the city marketing their information out to the community, and Life TV is about the community having a voice themselves, and that is very valuable, and I think the city should help support that and help fund that. We know that we already have a hard time with civic engagement. We have a hard time filling seats on boards and commissions, and part of that, I think, it's just we need to work better on our community engagement. And I will say, that's one thing that has been difficult for me with this new division that has been created. So far, the plan seems like it is really just create a marketing department plan. And that's great. I'm glad we have a marketing department. The city needs to improve our messaging. But even in the workshop, Drew mentioned that the goal is to engage residents and create a community engagement plan. And what I've seen so far has not been a community engagement plan. It has been create a marketing department plan, which again, both need to happen. And if we get rid of Life TV and other things, we are removing the community engagement aspect that gives people a voice. I'm just trying to think, again, it was hard to gather my thoughts right after that. And that is another thing I'll say, August 15th seems very fast. I don't know why we have that date. I think it'd be better to say, hey, we need time to discuss these things, leave it as it is right now, and talk about like how is this community engagement and move forward there. It sounds like the whole budget would just be half an employee, which doesn't really sound like that much to keep that running. I would also argue, because I've heard some people mention in past meetings that it's underutilized, not a lot of people utilize it, and I would say that's actually evidence of underfunding, not that it's obsolete. If we've really only had half of an employee for all these years, and we're still winning awards, that's awesome. But only having half an employee is part of the reason why it is hard for a lot of people to know that service exists, a lot of people to be trained. So I would actually say we should probably go the other direction and say, how can we empower this to grow more? And I would really appreciate the staff thinking through that. And then, let's see, I just want to make sure I hit all my points, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you all later, but again, hard to gather all my thoughts after this. One of the things I want to point out is I've heard it brought up that, like, why do we need this? Because people can just create and post online. I will say that's very different from having a channel. If you know content creation, when you create just content put online, you're competing with algorithms, you're competing with influencers, you're competing with all these different things. And that is one thing that, as a public access channel, that is a different goal, to give actual visible space for all voices, and not just the most popular, not just the most viral, not just the most advertisement-friendly voice. And so I think that's a big reason why we need public access, why we need the studios, and why we need the channel as well. One other thing, I did write down one thing, and I'll just read this quick. So I think if we as a community, if we believe local culture matters, if we believe community storytelling matters, if we believe democratic participation matters, then we need to invest in this. Because that's what Life TV and public access is we need to invest in those things, because if it only becomes a marketing department, we lose those things. So that's what I have to say about that. And then the other thing I wanted to say, I didn't see it on the agenda. A couple council meetings ago, we talked about what happened with Flock and ALPR technology. I do want to remind the council that a lot of you told us that we would have a real commission to be able to come up with policy, and I'm still looking forward to that, of having a commission where it's actual residents who are doing that and not just some task force that staff are running, because you all told us that we want resident input on if we ever bring in more ALPR technology, and I just hope that as we move forward, that no decisions are made before there's an actual commission or committee or however you decide to do it that has resident voices to be able to draft some sort of policy, and that we actually have a policy in place before we even start looking at technology, because that's how we got in the mess in the first place. And so we need a commission to write a policy to do that. So those are my two statements about Oshkosh Media. I hope that we can continue with Life TV because it gives a voice to the community, and I hope that before we move forward with any ALPR, that we have an actual policy in place. So thanks for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Please come up. Name and address and topics not on the agenda. 5 minutes.
Sounds good. Carrie Tetzloff, 824 Power Street. I want to voice support for the establishment of city policy on the use of surveillance technology, including ALPR. I'd like to see policy established before we sign a contract for a new vendor or entertain the idea of a new ALPR vendor. There's bipartisan support on this issue. I've been doing more research on a state and national level, in addition to Thomas Massey introducing potential legislation on this topic. Even right here in the state of Wisconsin, we have a Republican bill and a Democrat bill on the same topic, which really shows across the spectrum how concerned people are about this technology. During the last two council sessions, when Flock was an agenda item, 5 out of our elected council members voiced support for a commission and exploring policy. So I'm here to remind you, I think those are great ideas. I heard you say that, and I want to hold you to it. I really want to see us engage in that way. Formal policy guardrails to help protect our rights and make sure we're scoping technology with citizens' needs in mind, not retrofitting based around a product from a vendor that might not be trustworthy. I also want to speak tonight to voice support for maintaining Life TV as a city program. This program has made Oshkosh proud for 40 years. Topic of ending this program as a city-run public access TV station has never been an agenda item or advertised for public comment. I would love to see y'all sit down with producers and have it more of a back and forth forum. I've heard comments at workshops regarding staff time needed to run Live TV. At the first workshop, we saw a combined total of staff hours between the radio station and Live TV. Now that we have a pathway for the radio station, I'd like to see that itemized down further, specifically for Live TV. And part of why I'm wondering about that is I'm hearing from producers that staff will work second shift when producers are recording programs, but staff aren't actively helping them. They're doing their other duties while they're just in the building. So it makes me wonder, are we measuring that time as actively working on Live TV when they're working on other tasks? So that's a question I have. I feel tax dollars are a great use for supporting a free speech democratic forum, but I would like clarification on the Spectrum cable franchise fees. I heard Paul mention that at the workshop today, which excited me. I want to hear more about why we don't see those as a good fit for funding Live TV when past councils did. And also the state grant amount that was in last year's budget. Also kind of same question, wondering why we might not see that as appropriate funding for Live TV. Lastly, I was sad to hear that a TV station a couple months ago was prevented from filming the Oshkosh Media Awards in the studio, but even more disappointed to learn that many of these awards have now been thrown in the trash without giving producers, volunteers, and stakeholders a chance to take them home as a memento of their hard work. As somebody who has a family member who's worked really, really hard on programming for the city in the past, that just stings to hear. So if someone could tell me what dumpster they're in, I'll dive in and get them myself. But please, would love clarification on, it sounds like that actually happened. If there's a way to somehow still save them before that gets picked up, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public who would like to speak to us regarding,
I wanted to speak about block permission, would now be the appropriate time for 51. I wasn't sure, that's why.
so under 51 will be updates from the police chief. It's my understanding he's gonna speak about that. So you can speak to that. It is an agenda item, but you're gonna speak before he does later.
That's fine, no, that's fine. I didn't know when it was appropriate.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on to consent agenda. I have no one registered to speak on anything related to consent agenda. Is there anybody here? Just want to make sure now. Nope. Okay. I will take a motion and a second for consent.
So moved?
Second.
Sorry.
Mayor, if I could have one item removed for
Yep,
a separate vote.
No worries, yeah, we've got a motion and a second over here. Paul, what number? For Mr. Eskin,
15,
sorry.
Resolution 26-238.
Okay. Council, any discussion on anything else? I don't see anything. If you'll take the roll on consent minus 26-238.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Eslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
Resolution 26-238, this is approved sale of aviation industrial park land to Valair Hangars at Oshkosh LLC. I'll take a motion in a second to put on the floor.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Eslinger, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Grell, questions for you. Is there a community? Okay, I'll wait for
I
Sarah.
think Ms. Rutkowski is coming on up because she might be,
Oh, it's not Sarah? Oh, okay. I'm on your side. It looked like you back there, and it's even looking like more like you now. Okay, thanks, Sarah. Just a couple quick questions. It's my understanding that the property is going to be sold, but what's really going to be built is yet to be determined. Is that correct, more or less?
On this, the city-owned portion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
They have submitted a plan for the county side.
okay, all right. And then, so there are no TIF districts that would be associated with this property whatsoever?
No, there is a TIF district there.
Oh, there
That
is?
encompasses both the city property and the county property.
Okay, so is that one that's already been enacted, or is that with the construction or whatever, anything new on it?
That TID exists.
Okay, and so how much, do you know how much longer that one exists for?
I checked it the other day. I want to say it was till 2032.
Okay, all right. And there are no other contingencies involved with the offer to purchase, outside of their due diligence, I guess is. So the question I'm asking here is this a done deal, or is there a possibility that we're going to get this back in our lap again?
There's always a possibility
Yeah.
that a deal won't go through and it would end up back within the city's hands. There are some items within this offer to purchase. They are also interested in the stormwater detention pond that's located on the property.
Yeah.
But they want to complete some additional due diligence concerning that before they determine if they want to purchase that as well.
Okay, all right. Well, I just, I wanted to pull this out for a separate vote because I think this is actually pretty exciting.
It is very exciting.
I remember many years ago when I was in college, I did an internship with the Chamber of Commerce, and one of my responsibilities was to go out there with his name was Kurt Foreman, and I can't remember what his responsibility was at the Chamber, but to go out and sell a spec building, to go out to the businesses, to try to sell a spec building associated with aviation. And, I mean, we have the greatest aviation event in the world here in Oshkosh, and it was difficult to do that. In fact, we did not succeed. And so, this property is right next to the airport, so to see something that is going to be associated with aviation, the dollar amount that's, the purchase price is high. Good, that's a good thing. And, the future tax revenues are all great, so I wish this wouldn't have been a consent, because this is something that's exciting, and this is so much different than the city center. There's really no questions here. This is pretty cut and dried, and so good job. I think this is a great idea.
Thank you. We do plan on doing some press release and some promotion concerning this project
Please
when
do.
we feel we're a little further in the due diligence project.
Just maybe for the city manager, so the $900,000, how is that, is that just going to go to the general fund then, or how would that be?
That's going to be redistributed to the TID. that is over
Okay,
that.
all right. Okay. All right, that's all I have, thank you.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yeah, like Paul, excited for this project. I think being the aviation capital of the world for a couple of weeks, week and a half, whatever it is, it's odd that we don't have more aviation like businesses, and I think this gets at that. Just for public at home, this is also a really cool partnership between the county, the city. I know staff has helped, GoEDC has helped, all buying a big chunk of land next to the airport, and they're looking at expanding hangar offerings and then increasing businesses out there and really creating, I'll call it maybe like a plane community, right? I mean, we're really trying to get those folks that really enjoy aviation. So I think it could be a really cool add-on to that district, could bring some very nice development to our area, and then also bring some folks here that have a love for planes, and Oshkosh is a good place to have that love. So, and also $1 million is pretty nice too. I'm not going to squawk at that. So that's all I got to say.
Sounds good. 2013 is when this TID was created. City of Oshkosh expended a fair amount of resources to get utilities in the ground, get a road put out there, worked with our county partners there. It's taken a minute, but
Yes.
I'm glad we're here. To Paul's point, I'll echo his statements. I'm excited that we've got somebody interested. I'm even more excited we've got somebody interested in the entire thing. That, and this group has got some experience in this area. This isn't somebody new to this thing with a fly-by-night kind of idea that they can't back up. This is a sound group, and I'm excited that they want to invest here. So I know I welcome them. I welcome to the aviation district, and I'm excited to see what can happen out there. I hope our county partners this evening are having a productive discussion, and it results in something very positive for us and them. And again, bringing new business here helps the tax base. Bringing new business here helps jobs. It helps continue to make sure this community is growing. So I welcome them and look forward to some development going on at the airport.
I do want to add a little bit to emphasize that GoEDC in particular was instrumental to this development. This is something that was working on before I even started at the city almost 2 years ago. So very excited to see it get to this point where we can take it to council.
Excellent.
Thank you.
If there's nothing else, City Clerk, if you'll take the roll on 26-238.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Eslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
New ordinance. Ordinance 26-30, amend section 17-7 and 19-4 of the City of Oshkosh Municipal Code to prohibit the possession and consumption of alcohol in Opera House Square Park and William Waters Plaza Park. Advisory Park Board recommends approval. I do have one person registered to speak on this one. Jordan Hansen would like to speak. Good evening, welcome.
Jordan Hansen, 423 West 12th Avenue. I want to speak against this motion. I understand that there's been a lot of concern about certain people's behavior in Opera House Square and at the Plaza Park. A lot of people have been concerned about certain things, but I think that this is kind of missing the issue. You know, if people are littering in the park, by all means, they should be cited for it. If people are peeing in the park, by all means, they should be cited for it. But taking away everybody's liberty to consume a beverage in the park and enjoy the park for what it's supposed to be there for, because a few bad actors are doing some other behavior that ostensibly is a result of that, I don't think that's fair to anybody. And I don't think that we should be taking away everybody's liberty in order to, again, fight something else that we can cite them for. We can cite them for littering in the park. We should do that. So I just wanted to speak against this. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to, please, name and address.
John Neiman, 1078 West 4th Ave. I didn't know this was on the agenda. I've asked the police about this ever since I started the downtown care team 5 years ago. We go downtown, or we did, I'm retired. We go downtown Mondays and Fridays, and we pick up Opera House Square and the alleys and that, and you would not believe what we find. We are talking about alcohol bottles, small, big, broken. But that's not the only point of it. The point of it also are the people who are consuming it are starting fights. So I've asked for this before, and I'm so happy that it's on the agenda because I don't think that Opera House Square, where kids are, where kids' activities are, should have alcohol in it. So I'm very happy that this is on the agenda.
Thank you. I don't see anyone else who'd like to speak to it. I'll take a motion and a second to put it on the floor.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion, council?
And I guess, just real, is Chief back there? And I think I already know the answer to this, but the intent of this ordinance is really to, I mean, if people have a beverage, you're going to say, dump that out, move along. It's not going to be an immediate, unless they're acting, kind of, do you want to explain the process there? If there's, you do like warnings first and things of that nature?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're certainly, on any new ordinance, we make sure we do a lot of informational
Sure.
Conversations. We also are anticipating doing signage within the park to delineate the fact that this is a no drinking park if this ordinance is actually approved and enacted. But there will be a lot of conversation. Now, certainly, once we give you a warning, if you continue your behavior, you'll probably receive an ordinance ticket for that.
Sure. Yeah, and I guess I just wanted to point that out, that this isn't, I mean, we are trying to correct a little bit of a behavior issue, but also I know that our police do try to treat our citizens with a little bit of grace, so.
All right. Mr. LaFever.
Yeah, and so I guess I want to add that this ordinance wouldn't be banning drinking in the park all the time. The Dora hours would still be the exception here. So I personally don't see this as like criminalizing certain groups of people or criminalizing like activities, and there are still, I believe the door hours are 20 hours a week where you could enjoy a beverage in the park, and that's an exception. So this ordinance would only be in place when those DORA hours and special events aren't happening. Thank you.
I see no one else. So take the roll.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
We have pending resolution 26-259. This is to approve Class B beer liquor license, liquor agent change for a Crossroads Chance at 800 Oregon Street. I have no one registered to speak on this one, but I'll take a motion in a second.
Move it.
Second.
I was the one who initiated the action to lay it over to this meeting. Does staff know, so primary concern last time was, had the applicant, because as part of the application for a change of agent, they have to attest that they are in compliance with state laws, that they don't have any, they're not indebted to any wholesalers. Does staff know at this time, are they still indebted? Because that was a matter of fact, not question, matter of fact, when we held the hearing 75 days ago, almost to the date. Is staff aware of any indebtedness that this?
Yes, we have reached out to both wholesalers, and there has been no payment made.
Okay. So the application that was in front of us at the last meeting and is still in front of us today has some inaccuracies. When it was attested to in February, the applicant incorrectly answered a question. Whether that was knowingly or unknowingly, I don't know. So I'm going to vote no on this. I won't be voting to lay this over. I'm going to be voting no. It's also my understanding that an action item later in the evening, this establishment has not submitted their application for renewal. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So, and even if anyone submitted an application tomorrow, let's say anybody forgot, or it's got to be on notice publicly for a certain amount of time?
15 days before it would go to council.
Okay. So even if someone submitted an application tomorrow, we're talking mid-July before council would be taking action at a regularly scheduled meeting. Okay. So the conditions on the ground have not changed for this establishment since the end of March, is my understanding. Is that pretty fair?
I would agree with that understanding, yes.
Okay. Mr. Stevenson?
And I guess this individual came before us, I think, attempted to give them a little bit of a second chance. We suspended their license for, was it 60 days? When was that 60 days?
The end of May.
End of May it was up. And have they asked us to come inspect, to look if they've corrected anything to your?
I called the wholesalers that they were delinquent to the same day I called the fire department, and at that time, the fire department indicated there was no attempt to make any corrections.
That's disappointing. I really hoped that this individual would kind of take the olive branch that this council extended to them and use it to make those corrections. But I think we're all pretty firm up here that if they didn't make those corrections, that we would be taking the license. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Ms. Resslinger?
Thank you, Mayor. So I guess maybe a legal question, or procedural question. Almost, does it matter if we vote yes or no? Because if we vote yes and we change the agent, but the paperwork isn't in, it doesn't matter. And I guess the other question that I have is, if we do in fact know that they are delinquent and they have violated the rules, does that really not force the hand then to deny the, this isn't the liquor license, this is the agent change. So I want to make sure that, legally, what is the procedure we should be taking here?
So legally tonight, what you are voting on is whether to approve the agent change. I think what your question of, does it matter if the applicant does not renew the liquor license, and he has not filed an application so far, the liquor license ends. So you acting tonight doesn't change the liquor license status. It's the applicant's actions that will change that. So there is still the action item before you tonight to take on the agent. But to your point, if you approved it tonight, this entire liquor license may be a moot point in 2 weeks.
But if we did vote in favor of the agent change, that still gives them some type of hope of clearing up the delinquent payments. And if it is July or whenever we can vote on it, they could do that. If we do not allow the agent change, then that's the end of the road, right?
Denying the agent change does not revoke the license, but to your point, yes.
Well, we
Correcting
required them to do that, though.
We required them to do.
When we suspended the license, didn't,
It was one, so every establishment needs an agent.
yes.
So if you approved it tonight, it's correcting one of the many issues that were raised in that liquor license. I think that's what you're getting at, but there are still other issues that the applicant would need to overcome.
Yeah. Well, the thing that bothers me the most is if in fact, and I believe the city clerk, if in fact they did put on their paperwork that all of their bills have been taken care of and they have not, I'm sorry, that violates the trust. And I mean, I think I'm going to vote no on this because it's just, to me, we've given the chance. I don't know how many chances you have to take, and if this is your livelihood, this is what you have to do, and if you haven't done that, then what's the point? I don't know if that made any sense or not, but thank you.
Mr. Amos?
So I'm going to ask again, so even if we vote in favor of this tonight, if they haven't corrected any of their other violations, their liquor license will go away in the near future.
The reason that the license would go away, what I was talking about, is because the applicant has not filed to renew his license. It's an action he would have to take. If he does that, then that license remains kind of active, and then it would be on city staff to bring any further enforcement action if issues are not corrected.
So, so if we approve the agent tonight and say he puts in an application, or the new agent puts in an application, and we approve the renewal of the license, or we approve the application, then, and they say pay off their wholesalers and everything, then they would be in the clear to operate their business as usual, or?
So the license suspension was only for 60 days. So that, the suspension is already done. There are issues that we know need to be corrected that have not been. But in order to take any action on the license, it would be an affirmative thing that the city would have to do, to bring another license hearing in front of you to revoke the license. I'm not being clear for you, I can tell.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand, because so we said that he needed another agent, right? He couldn't be the agent for the company.
We didn't tell, he operated without an agent for a long time. And then we said, we informed the law is you need an agent. And then I don't think it was us ever trying to make an agent change. It was us saying, you don't have an agent. Like,
Okay.
what's up?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Let me try one more, a different way to frame it. I think what you're thinking is that when you suspended the license, he had to fix all these things in order to get it back. It's just a 60-day suspension, and then that suspension terminates. So it's not like he had to check all these boxes legally to get that suspension to stop.
Can I say it differently?
Yes,
He could have
please.
opened 16 days ago, and there's nothing we could have done about it, with or without a new agent.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Well, so,
Nope. Senior, no. No, if you could stay silent for the rest.
I have the right, but I'm.
No, you don't, not here.
interfering with your-
You are, yes. So please sit silently for the rest of the meeting.
But if you had mentioned who it is.
Please, Ms. Diener? That's your only warning. The exit's there if you can't maintain some decorum here. Thank you. Mr. Amos, the floor is still yours.
so, the thought process that I'm having right now is that we had a conversation about him not having an agent, and the agenda item tonight is to approve an agent. So he's bringing forth the agent, and if we approve this agent tonight, there is a possibility that he can still pay off his wholesalers, he can still correct any violations that's still out there, and be on the right track, and for less of a better term.
He would still have to reapply for the new term. So the current term of this license ends on June 30th, all licenses in Oshkosh. And on June 30th, we have the renewals coming in front of you tonight for most of them. He would need to reapply then for that 26-27 term. We haven't got an application yet
So,
at this time.
if I'm understanding this correctly, I'm going to support it because one of the reasons why we wanted to revoke his license is because he didn't have agent in place. And what's on the agenda tonight is for us to approve a agent for the business. So if I'm solely voting to approve the agent, I will support this, and then I'll just leave it up to him to determine if he wants to submit an application to continue operating with a license, or if he want to pay his wholesalers or correct his violations. I'll leave that up to him. He can make that decision, but I'll vote to support him, support the agent that he's bringing forward.
The individual knows that we're meeting tonight regarding this, correct? Was noticed.
This was noticed.
So he wasn't here last time, isn't here this time.
I try to be like a very black and white type of person, so
I get
it's
it.
like, it's on the agenda for us to approve the agent, so it's like, I don't really want to like make my decision based on like his violations or not paying the wholesalers or anything of that nation, or anything of that nature, if we're being asked to vote on approving an agent.
The only thing I'll say before Mr. Stevenson can go, as part of the submission in front of us, there's two forms. A applicant information form that, and then the alcohol beverage license application that's also attached to it. On that document, page 3, number 6, is the applicant business indebted to any wholesaler beyond 15 days? The question was answered no. This was dated February 26th of 2026. We held a hearing at the end of March, at which point it is a matter of fact if taken to a court, it is a matter of fact because of the hearing we held, the quasi-judicial hearing we held. It is not in question whether or not he was indebted. He admitted and agreed he was indebted. The form is inaccurate, whether willingly or unwillingly. The form is, that question was answered wrong. He was at that time indebted. The question on the form says, no, he was not. So that's information we're judging,
Based on.
the whole picture in front of us, correct. But this is the information we were presented to make a well-informed decision, and there are inaccuracies in the information presented.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I just feel as though it's kind of like we are stating like, well, one of the reasons why we want to revoke your license is because you don't have a legitimate agent in place. And then he gets a legitimate agent, and it's like, all right, well, we're going to vote no on approving that legitimate agent.
But we're not revoking his license.
He's choosing to not renew.
Which is why I said I'll support approving the agent, and then I'll leave it up to him as to whether he want to resubmit an
Can I ask?
application.
Quick. So I guess he could resubmit agent paperwork like tomorrow if he wanted to, right? Like if we denied the agent, he could resubmit this exact same agent tomorrow, right? And still reapply for his license hypothetically?
It wouldn't be.
He could, but there's,
Would be expired before it could be approved.
What was the answer? Sorry.
It couldn't be approved because the license would be expired before it could be approved, because it has to be on file for
and the
The
license.
15
agent
days.
has to be on file
14
before.
days.
Can you, so I guess what I was trying to get at is, so if he applied for agent change, he can't apply for agent change at the same time he applies for a new liquor license? No?
Yes.
He could. Yeah, so I guess that's what and maybe getting back to that conversation, I have no problem with him changing his agent. I think the issue I have with is that we know the document is inaccurate. I'm very uncomfortable voting for something that I know is, I don't know what their intent was, but I'm uncomfortable voting for something we know to be factually inaccurate. If he wanted to correct that situation, the time he could have, and it sounds like, maybe I worded that weird. If he wanted to come, let's say we deny this agent today, or deny this agent change today, he always has the opportunity to make another agent change in the future.
Sure.
So if he paid off his wholesalers, got us an application that was accurate to our knowledge, he could change that agent. And I understand where you're trying to get at, Jacob. I do want to make sure we're being fair with folks, but again, I'm uncomfortable voting for something that I know is inaccurate, so.
My thought process is though, how do we know for sure that he, in his mind, is thinking like, first I want to see if the council is going to approve my agent, and if they do, then I can go ahead and pay my wholesalers, do what I need to do over here, and submit my application. But if we're not going to approve his agent, then maybe in his mind, he's like, what's the purpose of paying wholesalers and doing everything if I don't have an agent to even operate with?
I could make a motion with a finding that it's inaccurate, and you could share it with them.
I hear you.
I don't know.
Any other discussion? Otherwise, we'll call the roll on 26-259.
Stevenson.
What is the, no is to deny, correct?
Correct.
Okay, no.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
No.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrower.
No.
Fails. 2-3.
Moving right along. Resolution 26-292. Approve submittal of 2026 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan. I have no one registered. I'll take a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion, council? Anything you want to share from back there? Or are you just all good? Okay. We'll take the roll on 26-292.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrower.
Aye.
5-0.
Resolution 26-293, approve 2026 budget amendment to Community Development Block Grant Revolving Loan Fund. I'll take a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion on this? I see none. When you're ready, please.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrower.
Aye.
5-0.
Resolution 26-294, approve professional service agreement with SRF Consulting Group for zoning code rewrite. Plan Commission recommends approval. Take a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this one?
Can community development come up and give a background?
This is something I know councils of the
We've
past
been-
have been advocating for, and excited to see it moving forward.
Absolutely. So we've made small changes to our zoning code over the years, and almost a year and a half ago, council had directed that we would like to look in a more comprehensive zoning code update, which is what we've done. We have a group that we've selected. We had 6 companies that bid on the RFP. We narrowed it down to 3 that had experience within the state of Wisconsin with a municipality our size. And we provided interviews, did background checks, did a variety of due diligence, and concluded that staff's recommendation, and now Planning Commission's recommendation as well, is with SRF. They have done planning processes in a variety of cities, towns, villages, very experienced. They seem to understand exactly what we were hoping to accomplish with this code rewrite. In essence, we plan on taking a very hard, comprehensive look at all of our zoning code and other code chapters as well, and how they relate to our zoning procedures to make it a more user-friendly, resident understandable, and more easily enforced code.
Yeah.
Very excited.
No, I likewise, I think, as Mayor stated, I think this has been kind of a wish of councils past, councils now. I'm excited we decided to kind of go all in on this one. I know we could have probably just done staff is going to do quick updates here and there, and that would probably take us another decade to try to move the needle. So I am very happy we decided to go full code rewrite and hire a consultant. So I think this is a good move.
Every 2 years, we try to do kind of some staff updates. We keep track of things that we see come up in the community that seem to be causing issues more often than not, and make what I would say minor adjustments. So we keep track for a year, and then we work on doing the code changes the following year. So it's a 2-year.
And that was not at all a slight at staff.
No, totally
I know
understandable.
you guys have a lot of stuff to do. I think code rewrite is maybe kind of a back burner type of thing.
It is, it's fairly minor. We can't do a comprehensive code rewrite. And in this case in particular, I'm very excited that we're going to be tagging in a lot of departments, not just planning or community development. Legal is going to be a huge part of it as well. And we plan on bringing in the public. That was a huge part of this, is we want considerable public engagement throughout this.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I see nothing else. If you'll take the roll on 26-294.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrower.
Aye.
5-0.
Resolution 26-295, approve renewal of beer liquor licenses for the city of Oshkosh for the period July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. I'll take a motion in a second.
Move it.
Second.
The only thing I would like the city clerk to confirm on the record for this one, a Crossroads Chance did not submit a application renewal for this item.
As of right now, no, they have not.
Thank you. We'll take the roll on 26-295.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrower.
Aye.
5-0.
Only reason I ask is the PDF wasn't searchable, so I couldn't actually type in and look through 201 pages easily, so that's the reason I'm asking. Resolution 26-299, this is a resolution to authorize city staff to prepare an offer to purchase 118 High Avenue, Oshkosh, a contiguous property to the city public parking lot and near the Opera House, Grand Opera House. Yes, I'll take a motion in a second on this one.
Move it.
Second.
And then we have a closed session that is connected to this, is that correct? Is that how this is working? That's how I read it, so, okay. Council, is there anything that would require us to speak in open session before we go to closed session on this topic? Otherwise, we will be coming back into an open session.
Are we giving the public the ability to speak to the issue, or?
If they would like to, but nobody's registered to speak. Ms. Diener? Sure.
Can you explain to me?
If you'd like to step up to the microphone?
That's what I was trying to explain. My name is Patricia Dean. You guys are talking on a subject that I didn't know what you were talking about, with this renewing of a license, or what happened to them. You know, you got to give people a little chance. I know you gave them a lot of chance, but financial people are hurting.
Are we on
No.
26-299, or are you rehashing something
What are
from
you
the past?
talking?
Do
tell
you
me
know what
you-
we're referring to right now?
Yes, you're talking, I could talk what I need to talk about.
Okay, so right now on the floor is a resolution to authorize city staff to prepare an offer to purchase 118 High Avenue
And
in
what is that?
Oshkosh, which is a contiguous property to the city of Oshkosh parking lot and near the Grand Opera House,
Is that, you're talking about the
formerly known as the Gunderson property.
Gutters, okay, I'm familiar with that. And if you want to buy it, or, say it again. City wants to buy it, or want to do
The
something?
resolution is to authorize an offer to purchase.
Okay,
What
that's
would be
what I
what would be your comments on this?
Well, I think you better hold off. I know we need parking in Oshkosh, but you know what? We need parks. We need bathrooms. I went down to the park the other day to use the bathroom. And I'll tell you, the bathrooms are terrible. The concrete's bad. And then when somebody falls, nobody wants to take care of it. That means the city of Oshkosh. And you need to make sure you're putting money where it needs to be. Everybody wants parks. It was terrible to walk in that bathroom down at Menominee Park over by the baseball diamond. And that's why I think you need to put the money where it really should go, and you gotta toss up. Parking lot or help with bathrooms.
Thank you. Council, there was background information provided as part of the council agenda that was posted online in advance of the meeting. Do you have any questions regarding the background material that was provided to us before we would go into a closed session? I didn't see any. I'll take, if you're ready to maybe, would you mind helping me out, Mr. Stevenson? Since I don't have a current deputy mayor, I'll take the former deputy to step in and
I
assist
could have
me with this.
stepped in, I'm ready.
I should have, yes.
Go ahead.
You
No,
can
go
do it.
ahead.
You want it?
No, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851E, where competitive bargaining reasons require a closed session to discuss bargaining options, strategy, parameters, and terms related to. Is this just for 118, or should I say all three?
All of them.
Is it all three of them? Okay. Related to the potential redevelopment and/or acquisition of the property located at 101 Commerce Street and 201 Pearl Ave in the city of Oshkosh, commonly known as the City Center. The potential redevelopment and/or acquisition of property located at 114 High Avenue, commonly known as the Thompson Studio property, and 118 High Avenue, commonly known as Gunderson property, both in the city of Oshkosh, and the potential sale, leasing, or redevelopment of the Grand Oshkosh.
Take a second on that motion.
Second.
All in favor of going into closed session, say aye.
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 Oh, wait, nope, she's got to take a roll call, my bad. I screwed that one up.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0.
Still got 5 votes. We'll go into closed session, and then we will reconvene when ready back into open session to take up the resolution in front of us.
The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly. The Oshkosh Common Council is currently in a break. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. This is GovTV, opening accessibility and understanding of local government, helping you to be informed and involved. Also streaming live and on demand at oshkoshmedia.org and radio simulcast on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Like us on Facebook at our Oshkosh Media page. For a schedule of all GovTV programming, visit our website at oshkoshmedia.org. Please stay with us. Coverage will resume shortly.
bass kick. Think about it. 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 Think about it.
Ghostface kick.
Think about it. 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 Think about it.
we have Resolution 26-299 on the floor. There was a motion and a second previously. That is a resolution to authorize city staff to prepare and offer to purchase 118 High Avenue, City of Oshkosh, which is a contiguous property to the city public parking lot and near the Grand Opera House. Council, is there any comments or discussion on this before I ask for the roll? My only comment, I think, on this one, we haven't talked much about this one, I don't think, publicly. Whether the grand project moves forward or not, having this property under the city's control is advantageous to us and resolves issues that community development deals with on an annual basis. So for us to do this makes sense on behalf of the citizens of Oshkosh, in my opinion. If there's nothing else, City Clerk, if you'll take the roll on 26-299.
Stevenson.
Aye.
LaFever.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Amos.
Aye.
Mugrauer.
Aye.
5-0 carries.
All right. That concludes action items. We are into council discussion, direction to city manager, future agenda items, discussion and direction to city manager.
Well, sure, I can. I'll say something, sure. Yeah, is this on council announcements?
Actually, I'm not there yet.
Okay,
Actually,
we can do it then.
If we're going to give direction, we got to do it now. Statements is a statement. That's not giving direction.
Sure.
So this is kind of a quagmire because council shouldn't discuss anything because we didn't post it, so.
We can wait.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Never mind. Sorry for all that. Future agenda items, meetings, workshops, tomorrow night, 5 p.m. here, orientation for news council members, as well as an informational session for us and the public on budget and the capital improvement program. Monday, June 29th at 5 p.m., we have orientation with Public Works Operations and the Transportation Departments. Council will also go into closed session on a variety of topics that night, which include union negotiating parameters for our represented employees, as well as the city manager's, which would be, I think, mid-year review at that point as well. July 14th, orientation, engineering and utilities department, that is at 4:30 prior to our regularly scheduled July meeting. That's the only meeting we'll have in July. August 4th, orientation, city clerk and administrative support areas, which includes HR and IT divisions, as well as finance department at 4:30. And then we have a meeting at 6 p.m. that evening. It's first Tuesday, it's a Tuesday, I'm assuming, first Tuesday in August, and that's due to the August primary elections that our city clerks and multiple staff have to go work and do election things the following week, I believe it is. And then August 5th, 5 p.m., there's an orientation for the cultural enhancement services, which cover library, museum, parks, and events, and the senior center. So that rounds out the next, 60 days worth of council meetings and workshops. Council member announcements and statements. Anything from council to announce or to state? City manager updates and statements. We have, next up is police department updates. I do have a few folks who registered to speak since it's on the agenda. I appreciate your willingness to stick around and to take the time to speak to us and sit through what we've gone through tonight. I appreciate that a lot myself. We have, it looks like four individuals. We're going to go with Tanner Mann first, followed by Emmy Carrick. Then it'll be Jordan Hansen, and then Pat Wallerman to round it out, those four. And then at which point, I believe the police chief has some updates he wants to provide to us. 5 minutes, must stay on the topic at hand, which technically is police department updates, is the topic. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, my name's Tanner Mann. I live at 833 West Harris Street in Appleton. Coming back here today to talk to you about what I anticipate we're going to hear in this update from Chief. There's been some talk that today we'll be talking about ALPR technology and its future in Appleton, in Oshkosh. I don't know what that update's going to be, but I wanted to share some comments ahead of that because the community doesn't have any information quite yet. And we want to be involved in this process. So I guess I'm, at this point, mildly disappointed that we're getting an update on this topic from city staff and not council. multiple council members expressed interest in forming a proper commission for establishing strong city ordinance on this type of technology before we engage in more vendor evaluations. I hope that still comes to fruition. And again, I look forward to the forthcoming information from Chief. I want to restate the need for transparency on this topic and the need for plentiful public engagement with this topic, given the missteps with Flock in the past. I just want to quickly put forth a few names that I hope folks from the community that can engage with this process formally, that would be welcomed onto a commission by the city. Those individuals are Chu Pang, Jake Wesson, and Carrie Tetzlaff. I want to also make a statement that in Grand Chute recently, neighbors of Oshkosh, they announced an end to their contract with Flock, and they very quickly replaced that with Axon. And I hope that Oshkosh doesn't make a silly move like that. Axon, despite its positive relationship with the police department, they have the exact same data privacy infrastructure and architecture that Flock has. We have the exact same concerns with that vendor with this emerging AI surveillance technology. So again, I go back to, I hope that what we hear tonight is a need for establishing strong, rigorous ordinance on this technology before engaging with a new vendor on ALPR technology. I also want to state that each of you on this council have been emailed a comprehensive ordinance to regulate ALPR technology in Oshkosh. This has been a passion project from members of this community and surrounding cities that have deep expertise in software engineering, cybersecurity, and we've also been in touch with some folks at the ACLU to help advise on some of the legalities there. I understand that, the commission is going to be doing its own work on that front, but we hope that it can serve as a framework or a starting point so that the city can be successful and the Oshkosh Police Department can get a tool in the future that is here to stay and is not controversial or problematic. That's about it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Emmy Carrick, followed by Jordan Hansen. Welcome.
I'm Emmy Carrick. I'm at 155 Wildwood Drive. Regarding the police department update, as I understand it, the police department is in the preliminary stages of discussion with a potential new vendor for ALPR technology. I'm concerned that we're considering a new vendor when we've not made progress on creating the resident-led commission that was discussed, and that there's been no policy put in place to provide guidance on how we evaluate vendors or work to advance our understanding of the technology that we're buying. Without strong policy in place, we don't really have anything to prevent us from having another Flock situation. And switching to another vendor does not resolve many of the very serious concerns that were brought before the council in April regarding the technology itself. At the end of the day, AI surveillance systems are very new and they're totally unregulated by the federal government. And I think that if this tech is evolving faster than we can regulate it, and if understanding how it operates requires a level of technical knowledge that most of us in this room do not have, then that's absolutely a cause for us to slow down. I would like to see an ordinance put into place that provides standards for evaluation and oversight of any AI-assisted surveillance technology operated by the city. And as the speaker before me said, a draft of this ordinance has been created by community experts with backgrounds in cybersecurity and digital privacy, as well as legal experts and city operations professionals. The draft has been reviewed by the ACLU of Wisconsin. and a copy of the materials has been made available and was sent to council members earlier today. So I encourage the council to review and consider this ordinance. I believe that it is a reasonable step forward. And I'm also very encouraged to see this level of sustained community effort because I believe it presents our city with a great opportunity to make our local governance stronger. I believe that what's being proposed is a reasonable and equitable solution that answers how we can make room for responsible use of technology while prioritizing the privacy of our citizens. So I urge the council to carefully consider this ordinance and to commit to not moving forward with any new surveillance system vendor until some kind of ordinance is in place. Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan Hansen, followed by Pat Wallerman. Good evening, welcome.
Jordan Hansen, 423 West 12th Avenue. I want to start by thanking you for doing the right thing when it came to Flock. When it became clear that they were dishonest, you guys recognized it and made the right call, and I want to thank you for that. And unfortunately, the fact that they won't come and take their cameras down here and in other communities after being asked to kind of reinforces that they're a dishonest company and that leaving them is the right call. But I want to add to what they said. I want to see a commission. A couple of you guys expressed support for that commission a few months ago when we were here. A commission with council members and the police chief and community members and hopefully a third-party cybersecurity expert who can guide this body on how to move forward on this issue and looking for another vendor. I also really want to express support for Tanner's regulations and potential ordinance. Having a regulatory framework in place to help guide a selection for a future vendor is really important, and I really want to discourage any kind of, like Grand Chute did, a rash jumping forward and grabbing a new vendor right away. You guys talked about a commission. I want to see a commission, and I realize that there's a process for getting people on that commission, but I would like to express support for having Malia Hawkswell, Carrie Tetzlaff, Jake Wesson, and Andy Toman on that commission. Thank you.
Thank you. And then finally, Pat Wallerman. Good evening, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. I would also like to just say thank you to the chief for doing the right thing. When it became an issue, he could have just sat on his hands and got what he wanted to be done. So that is a huge sign of integrity, and I give him a ton of credit. So also the two council members who expressed serious reservations, Mr. Amos and Mr. Lefebvre, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm also here to talk about the automatic plate readers. We can talk about the Fourth Amendment. We can talk about the FBI and all that. That's been smashed pretty good. The thing that I think about a lot is with, whether it's Block or whoever, is a couple things. Where does it end? I don't know if anyone can give me a direct answer on that. But the thing that I think about a lot is 23andMe. If you remember, there's a company that you could get your cheek swab, and it would tell you where you came from. It was a big deal. Sales went through the roof. After a period of time, it kind of fell away. They needed to make more money, going bankrupt, so they did the one thing they could after saying they wouldn't, and that is they stole the information. So all of our information, well, not mine, but a lot of people's information is out there for whatever use. That should bother all of us. And I think that could be said for any company like that has your information, and we're just supposed to believe that they won't do anything. I think that's pretty naive. So, as you can tell, I'm like 100% against it. But I also understand that it's just me. So I understand that there should be a commission of some sort. And if I would like to name a couple people that I would like to see on it because they know more about the technical aspects of their better than me. Tanner Mann, Malia Hawkswell, Carrie Tetzlaff, Jake Wesson, Andy Toma, and Chi Peng would all be great on it. Some of them spoke last time the Flock thing happened, and they presented very good arguments. I think well worth your time. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Chief, I don't have anyone else that is registered to speak to us on this one. If you'd like to come on up and share what you have for us this evening.
Certainly. Dick, you ready? We're going to begin by discussing pub crawl from 2026. There was an interest in having an update as to what occurred during pub crawl, so we've got a real brief presentation for you. The purpose of it, go back, Jake. The purpose of it is to summarize the event impacts and operational outcomes, highlight what improved in the spring of 2026 pub crawl, as well as identifying remaining risks and resources. Next. So to give you an idea of what we faced during the spring pub crawl, we had 65 specific calls for service. We had 10 persons who were taken to jail during pub crawl. 41 citations were issued, 73 underage individuals were contacted. 1 firearm was recovered, and we'll talk a little bit about that shortly. It cost both in combination, the Oshkosh Police Department, Winnebago County Sheriff's Department, State Patrol, and UWO Police Department $44,661 to staff this event for a one-day event, which actually for us is a 2-day endeavor as we do pre-work the day before pub crawl. The event occurred on April the 11th, 2026, and required, again, a significant multi-agency response. We based upon what's occurred in the past with pub crawl, we always evaluate previous incidences that we have some history with. So we looked at new tactics to improve real-time awareness. We also to build officer confidence and also improve our responses. Despite those improvements, the event still included a shooting and substantial underage activity. So to give context to what's going on, and I want to be clear on this, and I want everybody to understand that this in fact is an unsanctioned event. It's not sponsored by the city of Oshkosh, nor is it sponsored by the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. It's associated with disorderly behavior, excessive alcohol use, and large crowds. Recent event history included weapons-related incidences, and essentially in every pub crawl since April of 2024. And this is functioning now as a full weekend public safety operation where we're doing a lot of pre-work. And to be fair, we do work prior to the actual event to work up to it, to include meetings with landlords, to discuss availability of them, discuss some of the concerns that we have as a police department, and just essentially speak to them and say, look, we need you to take care of your properties and we need you to work with us while we're doing enforcement activity for pub crawl. What changed for us? We had expanded planning and staffing. We instituted a quick reaction force based upon the fall pub crawl. During that event, we had a large fight that occurred. We ended up with an officer who was injured, was out of work for several months with a concussion due to the events that are occurring during pub crawl. We used drone support for live intelligence. We stood up a stronger command post function. We partnered once again with UWO, with State Patrol as Winnebago County Sheriff's Office. And we'll talk a little bit about what the Sheriff's Department did for us in this particular case, which helps in the operational side of this for our logistics. We also had specialized teams focused on neighborhoods near the campus area. So as you see here on the left, you'll see a photo. This was taken from our drone of just some of the activity that's going on. And on the right, you're about to see a video that was on social media that is actually our shooting that occurred. Jake?
Hey, I was kidding.
This is what our officers are facing during pub crawl. And this has occurred since April of 2024. We have shooting events or we have weapons complaints that have occurred during pub crawl itself. Next. This is the aftermath within the community after pub crawl. This is the next morning. And these are just a few shots. We have many, many photographs of what's occurred during these events. So typical enforcement starts as early as the week before. Friday, we required a partial mobilization of our mobile field force for the first time. Friday, mobile field force had 8 officers and a supervisor working from 5 to 3 a.m. Saturday, we had 18 mobile field force officers, 4 supervisors working from 11 to 3 a.m. We had a quick reaction force of 6 officers. We had a drone team out of 4 officers. Command staff, our crime analyst was also working to help us gather intelligence. Saturday accounted for the larger enforcement impact. We had a firearms recovery as well as a shooting incident. Our partner agencies provided eight deputies from Winnebago County Sheriff's Office. State Patrol provided 4 officers. UWO also provided 3 dean of students, and their function for them was to be there available to us if we ran into a student, to talk to that student specifically about what they were doing and the impact that it could have on their admission for UWO. UWO has taken a stronger stance as it relates to activity that's occurring in the university area involving university students, and we appreciate their assistance during this. We had 8 additional officers working on Friday, as well as 10 additional officers working on Saturday. So alcohol-related offenses drove the citation profile. Ages that were receiving citations ranged from 16 to 24 years of age, and it concentrated around 19 to 21 years of age. Again, we had 73 underage individuals that we made contact with. 43% of those individuals related in those calls were in fact underage. Only 14% of cited individuals were UW Oshkosh students. That's an important piece that we need to understand. Our UWO students, they're college kids. They do college stuff, and I think we all can relate from our younger years doing college stuff. But only 14% of those we interacted were UWO students. This event attracts folks from all over the state and additionally in other states where they come to Oshkosh for the big party that we have. None of the 10 jailed persons were UW Oshkosh students, though 2 of them were Oshkosh residents. Citations included individuals from Oshkosh, Fond du Lac, Appleton, Menasha, Green Bay, Madison, Milwaukee, as well as an out-of-state address. We're getting them from all over. Our quick reaction force provided immediate tactical support, including support during the shooting incident and follow-up warrant service. What we learned in the past is that our basic staffing that we had available to us, we didn't have enough officers to respond to critical incidents that were occurring and still do the job that we asked them to do. That's why we needed to deploy our quick reaction force here. We also used our drone team, which provided a visual representation of what's going on above so that we could actually understand real time what's happening on scene at different locations throughout the area of pub crawl. It also helped us at night because it provides us lighting, so we see what's going on. Our drones are equipped with lighting, and we can also communicate through our drones on scene itself. We had multi-agency support, again, with UWO, State Patrol, and Winnebago County Sheriff's Office. They provided transport. As I mentioned earlier, one of the areas that we recognize that we could be better at is being able to allow our officers to do what they need to do without taking them out of the field. So with the Sheriff's Department being there to allow for us to say, hey, we need you to take this person to jail or take them somewhere else, it didn't take officers away from our responses, which helped us have a more efficient response to incidents that were occurring during pub crawl. We also, again, set up our command posts with CCUB. We had command out there. I was out there as well. All of our command staff was out there to help manage this event. Our key challenges and our remaining risks. We have persistent juvenile underage participation, which remains a major concern of ours. Our event costs and staffing demand were substantial across agencies. And understand, these are funds that are coming from taxpayer dollars. There is no event organizer that is reimbursing the city back for our expenses associated with this. This is coming straight from our overtime budget. Our drone and quick reaction force capacity, we're limited by staffing overlap and available personnel. We have to use what we have. John Avenue and Scott Avenue were identified as our busiest hotspots, and that's not uncommon for us during pub crawls. And a shooting involving a 23-year-old male and a 17-year-old victim underscored continuing violence and risk. Our bottom line is improved tactics helped us, but they didn't eliminate the underlying issues that are occurring during pub crawl. It's just a very large, unorganized event across multiple blocks of city streets that we're going to try to get creative later on how we can mitigate some of these things. Next. So for you folks, what I'm looking for. This event should continue to be treated as a high-risk recurring operation, not a routine crowd management detail. We will have high staffing, specialized teams. We'll be expending overtime with transport as well as interagency support will be also included for future events. The community impact, we have underage participation, disorder, and violent risk creates impacts beyond the immediate event footprint. Historically, with pub crawl, we've had underage drinking, we've had house parties that have been occurring, we've had basement parties that are occurring. And a while back, they used to come downtown on Main Street, and we used to have to block off Main Street for this. They don't come downtown any longer. They're basically staying on the streets and staying in the houses. So we've got to figure out a mechanism to try to combat that. And currently, we're reviewing nuisance, overcrowding, and special event-related enforcement tools ahead of the fall 2026 pub crawl. We're looking at what we currently have in place on ordinances and seeing what we can do to stiffen up enforcement of some of those ordinances, but also what can we do creative to potentially change some ordinances to give us additional tools to impact this. Next. Pub crawl still impose substantial public safety costs, as I articulated to you, including serious violence, heavy underage involvement, and significant multi-agency resource demands. The burden also falls disproportionately on our community. Even though most custodial arrests involve non-Oshkosh residences, only 2 of 10 people taken into custody were Oshkosh residences. Next. And I'll take any questions you have regarding pub crawl.
I'll ask a question, sure. I assume you're, you have solutions in mind, you have asks maybe coming in the future. I don't want to belabor those right now, but you have ideas on how we can make the situation better?
We have ideas that will give us additional enforcement tools. Absent we just make it a boring event. It's really hard to keep people from coming into the community. There certainly are, there's folks that want to come and enjoy a nice party. But we're looking at all options that we can bring forward.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Esslinger.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, does this pose any problems with staffing? You know, obviously you need more officers, you know, at hours of the day where you probably would not have the amount there. And so, you know, when you have vacation time and other leave and all that other, how much of a problem does that create trying to keep a safe amount of officers and the other type of staff that you have there? How do you juggle that?
It really becomes a balance, because not only do we have the officers that we assign to pub crawl, we also have our regular duties that we have to maintain. We're answering calls for service through the rest of the city. It becomes a difficult task. Our officers know when pub crawl occurs. We actually have a mobile field force unit of officers who are trained in crowd control. They're trained in de-escalation. They're trained specifically for these types of events. And they understand their responsibility to be available during pub crawl. We have 20% of our department are members of the mobile field force unit, so they understand they need to be available to us. But it still creates issues for our officers when, you know, they want to plan time off, they want to plan time with their families, and we're essentially requiring that they come into work for those particular dates. And we lock schedules too. We won't let a lot of people take vacation time during pub crawl.
Surely there are other communities that, you know, have large-scale drinking events. Have you, like, consulted with any other communities, like in?
We have, and most of those are all organized. See, here in the city of Oshkosh, we have an ability to work with organizers to have a safe event. The issue we have is that this is a non-city sanctioned, non-permitted event. This is not Milford Days down in Madison, where they actually sanction an event and they bring people in to do that, and they have the organizers associated with that. This is an organic event that occurs, and we have to find creative solutions to make it uncomfortable, I believe, for folks to want to participate.
The definition of a tricky event to try to control. It's the definition of a crowdsourced event, basically, right? I mean,
Correct.
I appreciate the efforts that go into, especially this year, the escalation of efforts, the increased efforts that went into pre-planning and trying to communicate and be out there. Being present is a big thing. Working with property owners. One of the tricky parts is what could be a mild gathering of a reasonable few individuals could dramatically escalate very quickly without their control into hundreds of people in their front yard and activities going on that they had no part of even inviting. And that's exceptionally difficult to try to manage from a responsible tenant perspective, from responsible property owner perspective, and from city and law enforcement. That is very, very difficult. I want to be known as Event City. I know we lost that moniker. We gave it up. I want to be known as a place that people can come here, have a good time safely. They want to come back here after they've come here once, that this is a place that they want to keep coming back to. Let me just be very clear. I have zero interest in any of these individuals that come from outside of this community with the purpose of causing havoc and chaos. They can stay home. They are not wanted here. Your slides, showed it well, right? By and large, the ones who are causing issues are not University of Wisconsin Oshkosh students. They're not even City of Oshkosh residents. So they should stay home because they're just not wanted. First off, as a parent of teenagers, to see some of your stats of underage contact, 15-year-olds, 3 of them, 16-year-olds, 10 of them, 17-year-olds, 5 of them. By the way, one of them, a 17-year-old was the victim of a gun violence. As a parent, I asked, where are the guardians in this situation? Where are the parents in this situation? What are you doing allowing your children to be at a pub crawl in a campus environment? What are you doing? The calls for service that took place during the pub crawl, specifically during the shooting event, I happened to hear of it relatively quickly. I may geek out a little bit. I hop on the scanner. Yeah, that's me. But so all of a sudden I start hearing all the radio traffic that's going on for this and consuming significant public safety resources. But let's not forget, at the exact same time, we had multiple EMS calls that happened in this community. So we have to, one, we're going to bring in EMS because someone's been shot, right? And then we've got, if memory serves me, multiple EMS calls within this community that needed to happen for, other individuals that needed care, needed assistance. And that puts a extreme tax on our resources. It's just not acceptable. I don't know what you need to do, and I am not in law enforcement, and I'm not going to suggest what you should be considering at the moment. I'm interested to hear what you have to say as a law enforcement professional, leaning on all your years of experience as well as your relationships with other communities who, experience similar things. This is unique. But anything and everything should be on the table, in my opinion, to curtail this activity and push this away from our campus and push this away from the city of Oshkosh. This is not what we want to be known for. This is not an acceptable experience for anyone in this community. It puts a lot of people at risk.
I do want to say thank you to the council, both this council as well as previous councils, with providing some financial resources for us as it relates to equipment. It helps us be responsive to what we have going on. If you recall, we used some COVID money in the past to purchase bicycles to use for crowd control. We learned from other agencies on the use of bicycles for that. That was a big helper for us. It allows our officers to be mobile, plus we have an additional tool in our tool belt to use if need be. You saw our drone technology at work. We use drones pretty heavily now because they keep officers safe, and it allows us to solve crime, which I think is very important for our community. And but those things only happen when you folks on council support what we ask of you. So I certainly appreciate that.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, next up, ALPR technology. Brief information for you on that. So the department is working towards identifying an alternative ALPR vendor for the city of Oshkosh. In consultation with the city manager, we'll be establishing an Oshkosh Police Advisory Committee to identify best security and operational practices. The committee draft-wise makeup will consist of the following: an independent cybersecurity company contracted by the city to chair the committee, city IT department representation, police department representation, city resident concerned with ALPR, as well as the city resident who supports ALPR. So it's a cross-section of many folks associated with this. The overarching goal will be to identify specific recommendations for the department to consider as we review alternative vendors. Once these recommendations are identified, the department will use these recommendations as a guide to engage with new vendors to address security and operational concerns. At that point, I'll be bringing a recommendation back to council once this work is completed. I will share with you that our first step, obviously, is to, which I've been working on, is to identify the cybersecurity company to lead this committee. I've engaged in the League of Wisconsin Municipalities, which manages the city's liability insurance, for recommendations on a highly qualified vendor, as well as another company internationally known for cybersecurity with an emphasis on municipalities. And these discussions are ongoing at this time. If you have any questions, I'll take them.
Not a question, but I appreciate your including the League of Wisconsin Municipalities. We lean on them for lots of different things. They're a good resource. It puts we invest in the league. We're a member. It's okay to take some of those resources and apply them here.
Yeah.
What I like about that is we're not unique. Several people here tonight and in past have spoken, right? We've got other communities in this state who are experiencing different levels of concern, whether they're canceling contracts or whether they're just different levels of concern. And I appreciate your willingness to try to lead on this, try to bring them into the fold. We're not the only ones who are going through this or are going to go through this. It'd be good if there was a reasonable process for others to maybe copy and to follow. Behind this.
The challenge, frankly, is that you're absolutely right. This is new ground, and finding the resources available is a challenge. But it's not a challenge we can't overcome. We're going to keep on working on it.
Okay. Mr. LaFever.
How has enforcement and safety been in the wake of the Flock decision in April? Like, the situations where you would have utilized Flock. Now, I'm just asking questions about like safety after the Flock cameras have been turned
Well,
on.
I'm going to discuss some of that safety stuff next on another update.
Okay.
To give you a snapshot as to what's been occurring.
Okay.
And I'm not going to attribute all this, obviously, to the lack of ALPR, but just so the factual data as to what's occurring currently in the city as it relates to safety. You can't leave the city of Oshkosh without hitting a camera. There's cameras all over the place. We're just a little island right now with everybody else around us. So I can't really speak to safety as it relates to Flock or ALPR. Again, it's a tool that I believe in. It's just we have to find the right vehicle to get us there.
Thank you. Do you have a timeline at all on this commission and next steps after that?
First step, I have to find the vendor.
Yeah.
That's the first step. The independent vendor, not associated with any particular viewpoint, but an expert to give us a cybersecurity viewpoint.
And will this commission be focused on choosing the ALPR replacement, or will there be a policy component involved?
They're going to advise on best practices for us to engage in, and I'm not going to pigeonhole them on specifics. I want to hear from them.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Amos?
Thank you. Thank you, Chief, for speaking to the oversight component. May you just speak a little bit to like what the accountability and transparency aspect will look like?
No. That's what this committee is going to help me with.
Okay.
I need to have people give a good recommendation, and once I get all of those things together, I'll bring that back and explain, and hopefully bring all those recommendations back to council to explain those things. That, I can't do the cart before the horse with this. Again, I'm not going to pigeonhole what it looks like. We're trying to be very broad in what we do, and then bring it all into focus as an end product.
So will they be looking at like the policy of it all to ensure that there is like accountability in place, or are they just going to look at the technology specifically?
They're going to look at everything.
So what I'm hearing is when it comes back before council, you guys are going to ensure that there's transparency, accountability, and oversight in place.
As there was before, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on ALPR? All right, moving on. So there's been a lot of concern, and it's actual, I believe, valid concern about violent crime that's been occurring in the city so far in 2026. So I wanted to give you all an update on that since I have you as an audience, and thank you very much for humoring me at 9:08 at night. We're still going, though. So the Oshkosh Police Department responds to a high volume of calls for service on a daily basis. And I want to frame this with each of you so you understand the work that your police department does. In 2024, the department handled an average of 137 calls for service a day. In 2025, the department handled 130 calls for service a day. And so far in 2026, we're handling an average of 133 calls for service a day. But these numbers don't tell the true story. Many of our calls for service require a minimum of 2 officers to respond. Oftentimes you hear, well, there's 2, 3, 4 police cars over this place. Yeah, because they're all doing part of the job. There's perimeter security, there's evidence collection, there's scene security, there are witness interviews, there are suspect security that has to occur. So it requires a police officer to do all those things, and usually each of them are assigned to a specific task. But in using just a simple factor of 2 as a minimum officer on calls for service, in 2025, 43% of our calls for service required 2 or more police officers, increasing our calls for service responses in 2025 to 186 calls for service a day. So far in 2026, 42% of our calls for service have required a minimum of 2 officers, or 190 calls for service a day. Additionally, most calls take a large amount of time to complete. So not only do you have the officer component where it's a minimum of 2 police officers responding to that call, if I have, for instance, 15 officers working and I take 2 out of that, now I have 13 left to do everything else that's going on in the city. And generally speaking, I don't always have 15 officers because we have to send officers to training. They have vacation time. They have sick time that they take. They have all kinds of life stuff like everybody else has. But what we also don't have is, just like today, I had 2 police officers that were injured today, and they're going to be out of work until their injuries are taken care of. I have officers that were deployed militarily. They were gone for upwards of, one is just coming back. One came back a couple months ago. So these reduce our numbers that we have available to us. We have a lot of variables that everybody that's in business understands, but we have additional variables that impact us because of the work that we do, as well as our other commitments that we have for really our country and our families. We've seen a significant increase in weapons complaints in 2026 compared to 2025. We recognized early on in 2026 that we were seeing an increase in weapons complaints and have initiated several actions to attempt to reduce these complaints. I'll talk a little bit about the crime trends that we're seeing in 2026. So in 2025, OPD had 62 calls for service that were weapons related for the whole year. This does not count all calls where a weapons violation may have occurred, such as arresting someone for a warrant and finding concealed knives on them, and maybe they were a convicted felon. When comparing January 1 to June 15th calls for services, there were 25 weapons-related calls for service in 2025. In that same time frame in 2026, we've had 40 weapons-related calls for service complaints. It's a 60% increase in our weapons complaints from 2025 to 2026. 2025 was a great year, but we're seeing a significant increase right now in our violent crimes and our weapons-related calls. In 2025, OPD had 46 total calls for service that were gun-related. When comparing January 1 to June 15th calls for services, There were 20 gun-related calls for services in 2025 and 25 gun-related calls for service in 2026, or a 25% increase. Of these calls in 2026, at least 5 of these gun calls related to felons being in possession of firearms. So our current department response as to what we are doing and what we plan on doing. Our crime analyst related to intelligence, our crime analyst is monitoring various resources to gather intelligence on upcoming unsanctioned events, and we are staffing responses to these events to deter criminal activity. We just had one this past weekend that we had to kind of flex into. We got word of something that's occurring, and we believe it could create a significant impact. So we have to respond to it, and that usually involves people. Through our data analysis, we identified areas that are experiencing increased criminal incidents, and we staff those accordingly. Training. Several officers attended training specific to gun-related crimes. Gun crime training was provided during patrol roll calls to better educate officers on tactics, techniques, and procedures aimed at strengthening gun-related cases. Multiple investigators and detectives attended a gun crime interview techniques training course that emphasized building stronger cases for prosecution. Now, enforcement. We're using the nuisance abatement ordinance on properties where tenants have generated repeated police responses in District 1 in 2026 and have initiated 3 such actions. And if you're not familiar with the nuisance abatement ordinance, essentially if you receive 3 calls for service over a period of time, then we're reaching out to the property owner and we're telling them you have to solve your problems. If you don't solve your problems, we're going to bring you before council for council to make a determination whether or not your property is a nuisance to the community or not. We get compliance. We haven't brought anything to yet, but we're making landlords, we're making property owners aware that they're having problems. The department during high-profile events such as pub crawl are staffing additional officers on overtime to provide a visual deterrent during these events. We're also working with the DA's office to encourage rigorous prosecution of gun-related offenses, specifically in District 1. The District Attorney's Office is aware of this initiative and has prioritized gun-related cases by assigning them to a single prosecutor to ensure greater consistency in prosecution. I received data from the Winnebago County District Attorney's Office on their case filings. And according to their office, their 2025 filings were specifically within Winnebago County, 957 felonies were charged out and 1,405 misdemeanors were charged out. Winnebago County is similar in per prosecutor charging numbers, but higher than peer counties in felony convictions per charge. The Winnebago County District Attorney's Office has an 84% prosecution rate, which is consistent with other prosecution rates. But historically, they have an 80% felony conviction rate, where other counties are running a 48% conviction rate. We are also collaborating closely with the ATF on firearm-related crimes, utilizing our ATF task force officer to initiate case adoptions by the U.S. Attorney's Office where appropriate. I'll just highlight a couple cases for you so you understand exactly what we're dealing with. Joshua Hetzel is a 30-year-old male from Oshkosh. The Oshkosh Police Department received numerous tips that he was selling cocaine and possessing firearms. It was determined that Hetzel was staying in the 1000 block of North Main Street. The U.S. Marshal Service assisted in arresting Hetzel on several outstanding warrants. On May 29th, Hetzel was arrested as he exited his residence, and officers learned that there was a firearm inside. Hetzel is a convicted felon and is prohibited from possessing firearms. Detectives and investigators from the Criminal Investigations Division obtained a search warrant for the residence. A handgun and 3 long guns were located inside, and the case was adopted by the U.S. Attorney, and Hetzel was charged with a felon in possession of a firearm and is awaiting trial at this time. On May 21st of this year, officers responded to a weapons complaint near Wisconsin Street and Pearl Avenue in Oshkosh. Investigation determined that Alonzo Williams veered into another vehicle's lane near Witzel Avenue and Sawyer Street, causing the driver to brake abruptly. At the intersection of Wisconsin and Pearl, Williams pointed a silver handgun at the occupants of the vehicle before driving away. Officers located the vehicle shortly thereafter. An Act 79 search resulted in the recovery of a .25 caliber semi-automatic handgun, marijuana, and marijuana-related paraphernalia. Williams was arrested on multiple charges, including felon in possession of a firearm, intentionally pointing a firearm at a person, second-degree reckless endangering safety, and misdemeanor bail jumping. He was also cited for several traffic and drug-related offenses. The passenger, Keena Donnell, was arrested for a concealed weapons violation. The case was assigned to the ATF task force officer, and this case was adopted by the U.S. Attorney, and the federal indictment is anticipated in June of this year. I've also met with the U.S. Attorney responsible for our area, and I've gotten a commitment from him to on cases that he can, they are going to charge out federally. And if you understand the federal court system takes a case, if you are a defendant in the federal system, you're hoping for a plea deal because they're not going to lose a case. They work very hard to make sure that they have successful prosecutions. And if you get time to serve in a federal prison, it's every day. There's no like time served or you were on good behavior. They give you every day. So they don't want to go federal. I can promise you that. All gun-related cases are being assigned to detectives as a priority for follow-up as appropriate to include shots fired calls, theft of firearms, burglaries, and felon in possession of firearms. Our Vice and Narcotics Unit is working to identify subjects of investigations who may be either illegally possessing firearms or involved in gun-related calls for service in investigating these individuals. We are providing more presence at our bars during bar close time to prevent violence from occurring on weekends. We are partnering with the Parks Department to help deter some of the recent violent acts that have occurred at Pollock Pool, to include walkthroughs when officers are available. As well, the Parks Department has changed rules requiring that all children under 12 are accompanied by adults. All persons attending the pool must have an ID to enter. They have revoked and/or suspended annual passes for those who were involved in the most recent incidences at the pool. Finally, we're initiating a street crimes enforcement initiative where we are staffing officers on overtime to patrol and respond to hotspots over the weekend as a visual deterrent to violent crime activity and addressing suspicious activity, as well as follow up on intelligence reports of criminal activity that may be occurring. This is an ongoing effort. We're going to continue to work on it. It just takes time, effort, and resources. And that's currently what we're doing right now to try to slow things down a little bit for us. I'll be more than happy to take any questions you might have.
Mr. Stevenson, go right ahead.
Do we know why? Do we have more weapons in town? Why are we seeing more people have guns, I guess? Do you have any idea behind that?
We're doing an analysis of our calls to try to figure that equation out. The why is always something for crime prevention that you always want to work for.
Sure.
But certainly there are more guns currently here in town. There's more weapons here currently in town that we're identifying.
And I guess when we see these things happen, are they largely people from Oshkosh? Can you speak, is there anything you can speak to, like where, are they outside people?
We're analyzing the data at this time to see what exactly we can glean from that data.
Sure.
I would not be comfortable saying that they're from Oshkosh or they're from Winneconne, they're from Door County, they're from Milwaukee, they're from Madison. I couldn't tell you right now without a clear understanding of the facts as they present themselves.
Sure. Okay. Nope. That's
just like the pub crawl data. I could tell you what that was.
Yep.
Because we've looked at that so closely. But I wouldn't want to speak out of turn as it relates to where folks are coming from.
Sure. Nope. That's fair. Thank you.
Ms. Fesslinger.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Chief, for your information here. A lot to chew on, I guess. You and I have had a couple conversations in the past, about what's going on in Oshkosh, and I appreciate that. Lately on social media, especially with the events that you're talking about, more with the guns, people they're angry, they're frustrated, they don't understand, what's going on, what are we doing about it, and obviously I think you've addressed some of those issues. So yesterday, about 2 or 3 o'clock on my personal Facebook page, I explained that you're going to be coming forward. And so I said, if you have any questions, I'll pass those along to the chief. And so I kind of monitored it for about an hour or two, and I was starting to write the questions down. I was going to give them to you. It got blown out of the water. I mean, it was just, the last I looked, I think there was 195 comments. Now, some of them were, comments, opinions, and such, but there are some really good questions there. Again, I think maybe you have answered some of those. So instead of printing that out, I just wanted to ask you if you could go to my page, and they're just the way they are. Nothing's been altered or changed, or I don't even think I may have commented on one or two things just for analysis purposes. So, I was going to ask you a couple of the questions tonight. I'm not going to do that. I don't even think the public would want that at this time. So, if you could, sir, if you could, read those questions, and, address the ones that are, good questions or whatnot. And if you could give that to the staff for some kind of public release, or if you want to give it to me so I can post it back up again. So, I just wanted people to be able to ask their own questions. I mean, these are our bosses, and we do need to listen to them. And like I said, I've always respected the answers that you've given. You've always been upfront and honest with me and the council, for that matter. So I think that the folks would like to hear from the chief personally on their questions. And so if you could take a couple weeks to analyze that and answer all of them, answer some of them that are pertinent, however you want to deal with it, Chief, I will put that right in your lap, and you can do whatever you want with it.
Well, to be clear, it's going to be difficult to kind of go through questions. That some of those questions I'm not going to answer because they're very subjective in the questions. I have, in fact, read many of the questions that were presented.
Okay, you analyze it more than I have then. So.
I have. You pay me to pay attention. So. And many of those questions are very subjective in nature and just inflammatory, and I'm not going to respond to questions such as that. We're going to deal with the facts. I've tried to cover many of those things in what's occurring right now. There are also questions in there that I believe are probably more of a confidential answer that we wouldn't want to share necessarily on tactics and such things as that. We don't want to talk about tactics. We want to catch people doing bad things in our community. Some questions are they're just uninformed. So as it relates to salient questions, there might be one or two that we might provide an additional answer for, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head from what I read. And I hope I've answered most of them, but there are questions related to parking that came out. There's questions related to e-bikes that came out. We already have an e-bike ordinance, I'll say that. Council already acted on that earlier this year to give us an enforcement tool for e-bikes. I will tell you that some of the things that people are concerned about, we would love to get to those, but we're prioritizing our resources as best as we can to answer the calls that we have before us. The violent crime calls, they take precedent over traffic enforcement. It just is what it is. I only have so many resources to provide out there, and then we have to focus in on what's most important for the safety of our community. It doesn't mean that we don't care about those. It's just we have to prioritize what we have available to us to use.
Okay. So, just to be clear then, do you think there are a few that you would like to take a little time and answer them clearly or more in depth? And
I can provide something back to the manager that she can provide to you.
Perfect.
As it relates to
however you want to handle it, Chief. I mean, I'm not telling you how to do your job. I'm just
absolutely.
Saying, you're the
and
professional.
I appreciate that. It's just some of the questions again. They're the real simple answer is I don't have the resources to do cigarette butts and parks and things like that.
And then that's going to lead me into my next. I don't know if this is a question or more of a statement. And this is what we've talked about. I'm always at budget time. This is where I get a little cranky when we spend money on things that, in my opinion, we don't need. Because, when I have a police chief or the fire chief telling me that we need more officers or more firemen, and I say no to that, I have a hard time with that. So, be cognizant when we're talking at this budget time that the word no from me may not exist. I mean, again, you're the professional, you're telling me what you need, and I'm all, if I have to tell a taxpayer their taxes are going up because the chief says we need more officers, so we can reduce the amount of gunshots that we have in Oshkosh, or the rapes, or the drugs, or whatever, I'm going to tell that taxpayer, yeah, I voted in favor of raising taxes to make this a safe community. And, like the mayor said, we can keep the idiots out that just want to, cause mayhem, but you're the person that has to deal with that. And that's the reason I asked you about your staffing, if there's a problem with getting the guys and gals to cover not only the pub crawl, but the other things that are going on too. If we're spreading that too thin and we're making this community unsafe, that's not where I want to be. So take that for
I
whatever.
appreciate your sentiment on that, and we'll take that in consideration. We also understand that we're responsible to the whole city, not only the police department, but we're responsible to every other city department as well. And our pie, as I've shared with the city manager, is skinny, and we have to make sure that we're not taking too big a slice out of that pie.
Right. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Couple brief questions. Appreciated the data that you provide. For those who don't know, monthly data is available out on City of Oshkosh Police Department's website. You can check it out and see what's going on last month, comparison. It's interesting. So when there's those narratives there's a lot of false narratives out there. I don't believe everything I see on social media, Paul. So in terms of data, trends, it's tough, I would imagine, for you to tell me, nationally right now this is a trend, or regionally right now this is a trend, and we're just a part of it, because a lot of times your data is quite a bit lagging in terms of when you report it up to FBI and things like that.
Our data that we report out to our community is within 15 days of the previous month.
Yeah, but when
our data that goes to the FBI is about 2 years behind, because that's the federal government.
Yeah.
We report our data on a monthly basis to Madison, to the Department of Justice, and they're the repository of every law enforcement agency's crime data. And once we report that up, it's on them to move it on.
And I don't need answers to the questions right now, but is that information that they share out quickly or easily, that, to your point, right? In May, it's this, right? We're up X percent in these, or even for the first half of this year, we're up or we're down. Are we able to compare that in near real time? I know what I'm asking here, and I'm giggling on the inside even as I'm asking it, but.
Compared to other agencies?
Yeah,
No.
like regionally or anything, like just.
We really can't, because each department, each city will look at how they want to report out their data differently. I believe in data, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
And if it's up, it's up. I'm going to tell you it's up. If it's down, it's down. I'm going to tell you it's down. And we're not going to shave data. This is based upon the rules that are provided to us by the FBI as it relates to reporting crime data. We apply those rules to our data submissions, and then they're reviewed once again when they go to Madison by the State Department of Justice. And if they have questions on something, they ask us questions, and we have to look at a report and say, yeah, these were the elements of this particular crime, and it becomes something else. But we report up to the best of our ability, but there's no way to compare to other agencies.
And I guess the reason I say that is,
real-time basis.
I'm not interested in saying, well, everybody else is up, so we're up and it's completely fine.
Yeah.
No interest in suggesting that in any way. It's good information to have. Like, are others experiencing what we're experiencing? Is good information. A lot of times crime is cyclical with the economy, right? There's different things that go on and that just happen, and we know that there's going to be an uptick or a downswing just historically. So that's just information that'd be good to have, I guess, if we had access to it. You mentioned something about conviction rates and prosecution rates. Can you clarify for me Winnebago County's prosecution rates that you were sharing, as well as then the felony conviction rate? I want to make sure I heard it right from you.
So data specifically I received this afternoon from the Winnebago County District Attorney's Office. In 2025, their filings, this is 2025, they filed charges on 957 felonies and 1,405 misdemeanors. They have a notation that this data is similar in per prosecutor charging numbers, but higher than peer counties and felony convictions. To give you a comparison, Outagamie County charged out 1,383 felonies and 1,079 misdemeanors. Marathon County charged out 1,166 felonies and 1,025 misdemeanors. And La Crosse charged out 1,093 felonies and 1,284 misdemeanors.
And then you had mentioned, I know you said something about a conviction.
Right. Winnebago County has a conviction rate of 80%, where the rest of the state has a conviction rate of 48%.
So I'd say our DA's office is doing a pretty good job.
Yes, you could say that.
Okay. In comparison to others. I had a similar, last thing I promise, I know it's been a long meeting, similar to Paul, excuse me, Mr. Esslinger, resources. This is more of a comment, you probably shouldn't respond to it. But if
I'll
there's a
take your
space,
advice.
if there's a space for it, you feel free to make sure you respond to the appropriate part. And this is in no way a slight towards any other public safety department we have here in the city of Oshkosh, but if fires were being unattended to in the city of Oshkosh, if the fire department did not have enough personnel or enough equipment, and houses were burning down, and people's lives were in danger, that would be something we'd be concerned about. If we didn't have enough ambulances or enough people on an ambulance rig to respond in a reasonable, very quick timeframe to address medical issues in this community, that'd be something that we'd be interested in hearing about and hoping to address. There are quality of life violations of law that are happening in this community that aren't a priority. And when there aren't a priority, as you mentioned, significant resources get devoted to the highest criminal activity, right? A gun charge, a shots fired call brings everybody, and then they drop the noise complaint. That's a quality of life issue. Now, yes, the gun call is way more important in the immediacy, but in terms of this community and how we feel about this community and the pride we have in this community, quality of life is a big deal, and we've invested a lot of time and money into parks and trails and all these other different things, but if we don't have enough resources to maintain a high quality of life from a law enforcement perspective, I'd be interested to know that, because to Paul's point, when it comes to budget time, public safety is right at the top of my interest level in terms of supporting to make sure that this community has everything it needs to make sure people go home safe at night and can walk the streets safely and not have to worry about their person or their property. So feel free to comment or not, and we'll leave it there. Good job on the silence. Probably good to leave it there. Council, any other questions for the chief? Chief, anything more for us?
I have nothing further.
I appreciate the updates.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share with you what's going on. It's not often that we get this opportunity, and I think when it gets important like this, I don't believe in just talking about stuff, but this is important stuff for us.
Absolutely.
All right,
And
thank
the
you.
community has a right to know and
Yes.
deserves to know what's going on.
Thank
you. That's the only update there. The next city manager, do you have anything else that you wanted to chat about?
No, I do not.
Sounds good. Before we adjourn, just want to make sure we have workshop following this, so we've got a few more minutes of lively government activity in the room right next to us.
I will not be lively, but I'll engage.
There will be activity. Oshkosh Common Council will participate in a workshop regarding the private road known as Cope Avenue, which happens to be off of Jackson Street on the north side of town for anybody who doesn't know where it is. Immediately following this regular meeting and potentially future options regarding that private road. With that, I'll take a motion and a second to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.